Welcome back to the news today. This is the Daily Debate. Election 2015. The week didn't start so well for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, while criticism mounting even from Fox News on his planned trip to speak in front of the U.S. Congress. Today, Israeli media published testimonies of former employees of his household showing a grim picture of the way that the Prime Minister's wife treats them. And not only that, another scandal. The state attorney announced today that Netanyahu, quote, wasn't treated as a common civilian during an investigation into his expense while he was acting opposition leader in 2006. Yes, and to speak about all this, with me is the former Israeli ambassador to France, Daniel Shek. Good evening.
Hi, Lucy.
Thank you very much for coming. And also Tal Schneider, journalist for the Israeli political blog, The Plug. Good evening.
Good evening.
So, I hope that Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, took a good pill for headache, because it seems that big headache since the morning. And you said it just right now before we started the broadcast, and he said it seems like he's doing some maneuvers of someone who's going to suicide. And it's political suicide to just, even that Fox News is coming and saying, okay, come on, enough is enough. What you did here is really a big no-no. What is he thinking?
Well, Prime Minister Netanyahu considers himself to be an expert on U.S. politics, and apparently time after another we see that...
Apparently more than the U.S. governors themselves.
It's truly, as someone who's... I mean, I was D.C. correspondent for the Israeli newspaper, Ma'ariv, for many years in D.C. I've never seen anything like that. You don't need me to say that. I mean, you hear that on Fox News, on Wall Street Journal. I had on my blog a slew of articles of op-eds from, Kansas City to Florida to Chicago Tribune, saying, oh my God, what is he thinking? He is meddling in our politics. He is humiliating our president. This is, unacceptable. I think things are turning against him right now, as Democratic senators said that even if they considered supporting the sanctions bill, they will back up right now because they feel, it's gone way too far. So, yeah, I don't know who advises him and why did they go all the way. It seems to me that he thinks that he might lose the election here, and he took a deep jump. He was, he took a deep dive into the unknown in order to just have the Iranian issue on the top of the agenda, on the top of the discourse, of the Israeli public discourse, and for that, he was willing even to sacrifice, everything.
Everything, and it's, it's not a big secret. This picture maybe just emphasizes the big dream maybe of Benjamin Netanyahu to be the president of the United States.
Well, that's probably not going to work.
It's not going to work, especially not with this last move that he's doing.
Specifically that the United citizens are voting Democrats all the time.
Yeah.
And he is a
He will have to
Republican.
change his,
Yes.
skin completely. But it's
in the next life.
In the next life, you're saying. But we are looking at the moves that he's doing. We are looking at what is happening in his house. We are looking about, and like Tal said here, it seems that he is not taking the advice of anyone. It seems that he's taking the advice only of Benjamin Netanyahu. And this is maybe not the time to listen to yourself, but to listen to some people who maybe read more articles than the article that you specifically want to read.
Like his ambassador in the United States, for example.
Like, for example.
who is an accomplice to this. But no, I'd like to leave the household business on the side. That's mostly gossip, and it doesn't really have to do with the hardcore substance of this. Personally, I think there is great consistency that you can see here in the behavior of Benjamin Netanyahu, because I think one of the main fundamental traits of his behavior is short-sightedness. He looks only at the next step, and the ones that come after that, he'll worry afterwards. So right now, he needs, as Tal said, to put the Iranian and regional security issues on the top of the agenda of the Israeli election. This has nothing to do with the United States. So he says, how can I do this? I'm going to use the tools that I have on Capitol Hill, which is the Republican majority, and I will get myself invited there, and I will speak, and there will be the standing ovations, and I will come back home as a hero, and we'll worry about Israel-U.S. relations later. That is basically the thinking behind it. It has nothing to do with the United States. Fox News and all the others can stop worrying.
I mean, he had a quarrel in the past with the Clinton family, and when Bill Clinton was the president, he did stunts like that. And I just imagine the phone call that probably Hillary Clinton got from the Kerry on the phone, probably saying, "He did what?" I mean, this is great steps. Even for the future, if we look at the next presidential election, which will start next year, I mean, even if Netanyahu is going to get reelected here, I mean, what was he thinking of future relationship?
He needs to deal with Barack Obama for 2 more years. And we're seeing the tweets that the Prime Minister office is taking out, quoting the Prime Minister.
He's going to have to deal with, not everyone hopes that he will have to deal with the Obama administration after March 17th. Quite a lot of Israelis hope that he won't.
But he won't. But, you know...
But there is a possibility that he will. But it's exactly what I said. He thinks in his mind, first of all, relations are not that great anyway, so he doesn't have very much to lose.
And in the case that Hillary Clinton
as I said, we'll worry about that later. Right now, I need these people.
Well, last time he lost the election over bad relationship with the United States. However, in 2013, I think this notion, this phrasing that we used to have, that you cannot, go into a fight with the U.S. president, was, dropped down, because we saw bad relationship during, from 2009 until 2013, and yet he won again. So, I mean, I don't know if this assumption still stands. I mean, this is what they think in D.C. They think the Israeli Prime Minister will never go into head-to-head with the president because it's bad for his inner politics. And that was proven wrong. So, and I think in his Likud base, in his right-wing base, having, I'm fighting the president is probably...
what is amazing?
In the United States and say,
gives him
I
power.
think
what is amazing with
in his own camp, which is what he's worrying about right now, his core voters, I think that a good fight with the U.S. president is not a bad thing.
Polled that in advance. I mean, I'm absolutely sure that he made polls in order to see how will a fight with, put Iran on the ticket, and how will a fight with the U.S. administration will help you. And probably he got good numbers. Otherwise, he wouldn't do that.
What's amazing with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, that nothing sticks with him. Nothing is just like all the bad things, all the rumors, or all the, let's say, bad publicity that he's doing with the United States, all the bad relationship that he's doing for the bad economy situation in Israel, the bad, whatever you call it, you name it, it's not sticking to this guy. And more than that, it seems that in the polls it's just going to help him. And more than that, it seems that he will be the next prime minister again of Israel.
I think that's no longer that true, Lucy. I think that this time around, quite a lot stuck on him, and will continue to stick during the remaining 2 months of the campaign. There is quite a solid anti-Netanyahu sentiment on the left and on the right, and on the street, as Tal mentions. So I think that he couldn't get away with it all the time.
So if I'm going with the line that you're saying...
I'm not saying that it's sure that he won't be elected.
Plus, I have to say that John Boehner, I mean, what was he thinking himself? I mean, he can have another Israeli prime minister within 2 months. I mean, this is a way... Is that a way to start relationship? I mean, if I was, John Boehner's stuff, I mean, I'm sure he doesn't care much, but he would probably have to pick up the phone and beg and ask for forgiveness from Herzog if things will, turn that way.
I'm trying to think, because you're saying, what was he thinking? What was he thinking?
Both
and
of
we're
them,
all,
actually.
but like we're all thinking, what was he thinking? And if I'm going with the thought that you're saying, that maybe he's not going to be the next prime minister, maybe he is not. It's not that obvious that he will be the head of the coalition. So even when I'm thinking, how can he do these wrong moves and commit this one mistake, one after the other, when he sees that apparently he's not going to win the elections? So this is something that I cannot understand how and more than that, when you want to, you have 2 years with Barack Obama, you will have maybe 4 more years with Clinton or with someone else from the Democrats. How you're going to handle the next relationship that's deteriorating challenging relationship phase with the United States.
Just don't look at me. I have no idea what's going on in his mind. And I'm even wondering who is advising him. He's getting ill-advised. He is probably, I'm sorry to say that, probably disconnected from whatever is going outside after 6 years in office. He's in a bubble.
Is he that obsessive with Iran?
To be honest, Lucy.
Is he really that obsessive with Iran?
It's not about Iran, though.
It's not about Iran. It's about the election. All of this is about the 17th of March in Israel. It has nothing to do with Iran or with the United States. But to be honest, Lucy, not everybody thinks that he's doing only wrong moves. There are people around him, and there are people in his voter base who think that this is great what he's doing, because President Obama is considered to be an anti-Israel president anyway. So Benjamin Netanyahu, as prime minister, standing up to him and fighting him off and showing who's boss, it actually goes very well with his voter base. And I suspect you're right, Tal, that he did poll it and he did verify it. He's a professional. You can say a lot of things about Netanyahu, but he's a professional campaigner.
But I'm going to say something. The money that Benjamin Netanyahu is getting, he's getting from the United States government. He's not getting it only from Sheldon Adelson.
Well, Sheldon Adelson is also a big donor of the Republican Party and of Biden himself, and we have to say that Adelson made poor political choices in the past. I mean, he put Gingrich on the top of the ticket on his behalf, financed him, and that was a poor choice. I mean, anyone who reads American politics knew that Gingrich is not going to get elected with, free wives at your past and whatever other problematic, scandals he had. And yet, Adelson went, I think some of the things that Adelson done through the years is like going, with your head against the wall. And this is, again, seems like another move like that. I mean, I want this guy as prime minister, and I don't know if he advised him or not. I have to say that. I mean, we don't know if he was in touch in the background. But if someone from this circle gave those advices, it's like going, bounce your hand against the wall and don't care about the damage that you're doing to yourself or to the wall. And it's just, got to say something else also. I lost my
okay.
thinking.
Let me get you back on track.
About the Americans and the way they
Iran,
behave.
the Americans.
I'm just thinking
Lucy,
of
this
binary.
is not the last that we've seen of this campaign. There's going to be a lot of things. And we don't know that this is going to work for him. Personally, I think that the average Israeli, even in his voter base, doesn't really care about Iran, doesn't really think that it's top of the priorities. They have other priorities, and it may backfire.
Yeah,
it may backfire.
You have, an interesting poll from Channel 10 in Israel last night saying that 53% of the Israel population thinks about the economy, and only like 20% think about Iran and other security issues. So
more than that, it's like when we're watching the current situation, and I'm seeing the way that he behaves, the United States might, although the United States said we don't want to intervene with what is happening here, we don't want to intervene with with the inner politics, but doing this kind of move may cause the United States in let's say a diplomatic, the really nice way to intervene with what is happening in Israel.
He's trying to ride the wave onto the United States. It may backfire. He doesn't control it anymore. Once he involves the Americans in this campaign the way he wants, they're in and they can shoot back. So the administration. They no
already
doubt
invited Rivlin for a meeting during his President
Rivlin.
It's such
an obvious choice. It was clear
and also,
that they would do it.
For the other way to look at it is the Prime Minister office sent a letter today of briefing to the other ministers what to say on the radio station and how to be interviewed and talking points. And one of the talking points was we only need 2/3 of the votes in the Congress in order to get over the veto power of the president. I mean, he actually briefed his ministers to talk about the needed supermajority in the United States and thinking, who would buy that? I mean, nobody. I mean, if you look at Wiki, for example, Wikipedia, you can understand that not even once in the historic time of the U.S. Congress, someone managed to get over a veto power. This is, the supermajority is something that you can't beat. So he wants to beat the supermajority in order to what? Does he want to be the next president?
He wants to be the next president. This is like the obvious.
So I'm just asking, when are we going to be the 51st state? Is it
maybe
coming? Because I want my voting rights.
We don't need to be the 51st state. He can just be the 51st governor.
Yeah, but gentlemen, what can I tell you? It's like it's never a dull moment. With.
Do you want to talk about the Sarah issues? Because I'm willing. I mean, as opposed to my friend here.
Do you want to have 1 minute? Go.
It's court hearings. The papers are in the court, so we can talk about it because this is the law in Israel. We have the freedom of speech whenever you have court proceedings, and in the court proceedings, people said about her horrible things that are really embarrassing for her and for the prime minister. Of course, he's maneuvering it to say it's only the campaign issue, but it is not. It's a lawsuit by employees of the prime minister office and house that is going on for a year now, and they claim that she is drinking too much and have bursts of.
I don't think that she like that. She in this way she can get into the White House or be the first lady. But okay, gentlemen, my lady, thank you very much for being here. We're going out for a small break, 2 minutes, and I'll be back.